The Supreme Court has drafted an opinion to overturn Roe versus Wade, according to this report. By the way, can you look at this? Right, over 1.3 million people are checking out the Met Gala. Absolutely insane. So the Supreme Court has written an opinion that would overturn Roe v. Wade, the landmark decision that provides women with a constitutionally protected right to an abortion, a report said. The majority opinion was written by Justice Samuel Alito and leaked to Politico in an extraordinary breach of Supreme Court procedure. Probably whoever leaked it, if they find out who it is probably going to serve some massive time. But probably nothing's actually going to end up happening. So Roe was egregiously wrong from the start, Alito writes in the 98-page draft opinion obtained by the outlet. The opinion rejects the 1973 decision that guaranteed constitutional protections for abortion rights, as well as the subsequent Planned Parenthood v. Casey decision in 1992. We hold that Roe and Casey must be overruled, he writes in the document labeled as the opinion of the court. It is time to heed the Constitution and return the issue of abortion to the people's elected representatives. So, pretty much this probably means that if they end up basically overturning it, it's going to be like a state by state basis, meaning one state will be deciding, okay, abortion here all the way till birth, or another state would be like, no abortions at all for any reason. The ruling, which was written in February, would end the federal abortion protections and instead leave the decision up to each state to restrict or ban abortions. See, this is basically what I thought it was probably going to be, right? So you're basically going to have like sanctuary states where abortion will probably be allowed all the way even past birth, and then you're going to have states where like regardless you will not get an abortion. So it's going to be very interesting. It's going to really like split the country into like multiple segments. So you'll start to see who truly believes in this issue one way or the other by whether or not they're actually going to move to a different state or not. It is not clear if there have been subsequent changes to the draft Politico reported. No draft decision in the court's modern history has been released publicly, while final decision on a case was still pending, according to the outlet. Scottish judges are known to have changed their votes as opinions circulate, Politico noted, and major decisions such as this can go through multiple drafts before a final decision is made. A source familiar with the court's discussions on the matter told the outlet that four of the other conservative justices, Clarence Thomas, Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett, joined Alito in his vote after the judges convened following oral arguments in December. The four judges have maintained their positions as of this week, the source said. Democratic appointed Justices Stephen Breyer, Sonia Sotomayor, and Elena Kagan were working on one or more dissents, leaving Justice John Roberts, who is expected to either irrelevantly join the dissent or pen an opinion of his own. The right to have an abortion up until around 23 or 24 weeks has been federally protected under the Constitution since the Roe v. Wade 49 years ago. In December, the Supreme Court signaled its willingness to overturn the landmark case and permit a Mississippi ban on abortion after 15 weeks. If the Alito draft is adopted, it would rule in favor of Mississippi, prompting about 26 states in the South and Midwest to move to immediately ban abortion, according to the Guttmacher Institute, an abortion rights advocacy research group. The court's final decision is expected later this spring. Few Supreme Court decisions have been as nationally divisive as Roe v. Wade, which was confirmed by a 7-3 vote in 1973. Since the Supreme Court agreed to relook at the controversial decision last year, rhetoric from both sides has heated up as each side awaits the court's ruling. The leak of the opinion draft is likely to add gasoline to the fire after the news about the draft opinion broke. Barricades were placed around the Supreme Court building in Washington, D.C. in anticipation of protests. Roe was egregiously wrong from the start, its reasoning was exceptionally weak, and the decision has had damaging consequences. And far from bringing about a national settlement of the abortion issue, Roe and Casey have inflamed debate and deepened division, Alito, who was appointed by George W. Bush in 2006, wrote in the opinion. Alito rejected that the right to an abortion is protected in the Constitution and instead should be left up to the states, writing that Roe imposed the same highly restrictive regime of the entire nation, and it effectively struck down the abortion laws of every single state. The inescapable conclusion is that a right to abortion is not deeply rooted in the nation's history and traditions, Alito wrote. The Constitution does not prohibit the citizens of each state from regulating or prohibiting abortion, the draft concludes. Roe and Casey arrogated that authority. We now overrule those decisions and return that authority to the people and their elected representatives. And New York City Mayor Eric Adams said that he is ready to fight like hell against the Supreme Court's ruling. He tweeted Monday night while he was in attendance at the Met Gala. New York City knows that a woman's right to make her own healthcare decision is hers and hers alone, he wrote. This potential assault on their freedom by right-wing extremists cannot stand. We're ready to fight like hell. Now here's the thing that people need to understand, right? This wouldn't have like any effect on like let's say like New York, right? Because what people need to understand is just that if they were to basically revoke this, right, it's giving the power to each and every state individually. Meaning, states that are very pro choice are still going to be pro choice, and they're going to probably be even more so pro choice, like even further pro choice than they originally were. And people, well, I guess states, right, that were pro life are going to be probably extremely pro life now, right? So if you have like a state that is very left wing, they are going to vote in people who are going to view pro choice as a right, like basically abortion as a right. They're going to go that far that way. And then people who are right wing are going to vote people on the right side into certain positions that are going to be extremely pro-life. So it's not necessarily really going to change anything in the sense that the states that are already leaning one way or the other are going to just go that way deeper, right? Which means if this is an issue that matters to you one way or the other, you're probably going to have to move to a state that agrees with your viewpoint. Governor Kathy Hochul said the state would welcome with open arms anyone who needs access to an abortion. And New York will always be a place where abortion rights are protected and where abortion is safe and accessible, she said. Feel free to give your thoughts about this whole situation. Are you pro-choice? Are you pro-life? Why? Feel free to give your own opinions. I'm just basically commentating as to what is going on and what was just released. If you want to learn how to get out of debt and master your money, go to 40inbox.com.